free musical instruction in schools, which of course is really John Swinney's kind of bag, but I'd appreciate your thoughts on that, and perhaps your thoughts about the kind of percentage for the Arts Fund as well.
So, I mean, it's been a pleasure to serve as the Culture Minister for over 10 years now, and I strongly believe in the power of culture and the power of music. And we have the Youth Music Initiative that's ensured that we've had a much expanded experience of music in primary. Everybody has that experience, but also groups like, for example, in my constituency, Whitburn Brass Band has been able to grow and develop using Youth Music Initiative for their trainer band. But today's announcement, and it was trailed earlier in the week, that there would be free music tuition for all, funded by the Scottish Government, I think is such a relief for so many people. Because here in West Lothian, you know, the SNP, when it ran the council, was clear that there should be free music tuition. And we've got a burgeoning music scene here. You know, I know my own son was in the Little Big Band, then the big band, in terms of the music that was carried out here. And for people who didn't necessarily want to take music as a qualification, you know, this was for everybody, because you know, the teamwork, the sense of self-expression, etc. And we have got, you know, international and national stars, as you know, coming out of West Lothian as we speak. In fact, one of our local bands, the Snuts, as a debut album, has reached #1 in the UK chart. So it's continuing. We have Boghall and Bathgate Pipe Band. You know, I've already mentioned the Whitburn Brass Band. So I think having that free music tuition allows people and young people not to have that kind of burden of costs that many parents couldn't afford. And unfortunately, in recent years, West Lothian Council, which is Labour run, started introducing fees, and it was absolutely devastating, the number of young people then stopped music tuition. Now, my worry is that's a bit of a lost number. They might not come back to this, and so I'm very keen that with this, and I've said to John Swinney, I'm very keen that those, particularly S1s and S2s, that over the last years get a chance, almost like an extra chance. And the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, we've had very good discussions with. They're working with a music education group, and there'll be further developments in this area. So hopefully, Michelle, from what I've told you, you'll be pleased that music is centre stage in the culture aspects. And I can talk about the percentage for the arts, but you know, you obviously may have a view on this, I'm sure.
I know. Could you tell? Yeah, for everybody that's listening, they may not be aware, but music's something I'm very keen on. I'm a graduate of what is now the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, but was the RSAMD when I went there, and I'm somebody who benefited from free clarinet tuition when I was at school. And I suppose, looking back, the music making I took part in school helped me develop social skills. Yeah. I think, looking back, I was a slightly awkward kid. I was quite shy. I didn't necessarily find it easy to communicate with people. I liked to read books, and the sort of books I liked to read were ones that other people didn't like to read. They thought I was a bit of I think the term for it when I was at school was a spov, because you know, I just was interested in history and so on, and it helped socialize me. And of course, it wasn't just the instrumental lessons, it was the groups that were able to form out of that. Yeah. And of course, you know, as an adult, I now know that the cognitive development in children of learning a musical instrument, it is scientifically proven the benefits it gives to allow your brain to develop. So there's huge benefits. And I also love the idea that it's our music, that everybody gets a chance to participate. And it's always been a great tradition in Scotland. I remember when I was at the Academy in Glasgow, we had, like, virtually all the string players came from a school in Glasgow at that point that was called Bellarmine. And they just were amazing. And that's what they did. And they didn't ask the question, well, what's the point in doing music? Music was recognised for its contribution and its value in its own right. And if people ever say to me, well, what can you do with a music degree? I can always say, well, actually quite a lot. Because, you know, I've had quite a varied career. So I suppose the other thing, that thinking about it from a purely educational point of view, that strikes me, the other thing that was pre-trailed about allowing instrumental instructors, giving them an access path to GTC registration. That's very, very powerful. It gives flexibility to music departments, because these people are honours graduates from conservatoires. You know, they're highly skilled, highly qualified, and it gives a career progression for them as well. They're a recognised part of music departments. I thought that is game changing.
Yeah, so we've been working on that for some time, because that was always the issue and concern about who could do this. Now, clearly, in terms of qualifications in music and in terms of the teacher practice within that, that's recognised as obviously the qualified teaching aspects, but the music tuition, and it's jobs for musicians as well, remember, and in the conversations I've had, for example, with Nicola Bernadetti and others, is, you know, from her point of view, she says everybody should teach. You know, everybody, and whether, you know, and she's obviously doing it by example and has done so through the lockdown period. But I think that's the kind of point about those that are working in orchestras can also be music tutors that can also work with schools, and there's an obligation for everybody to grow the numbers, because the numbers we'll need for this will be extensive. So that's the